it just stems and stems on. And the more you tell yourself, I'm not smart, I'm not this, I'm lazy, I procrastinate. The more you tell yourself this stuff, you're gonna procrastinate more. You're gonna do bad on school tests more. Do you know what I'm saying now? The more you do that stuff, you're gonna procrastinate more. You're gonna not try for school more because there's no point, right? You're already a bad student. You're already someone who's not gonna get good marks. So why would I try now? That is the dangerous cycle that happens. All right, we're gonna go completely dolo on the top of my head on this video. Okay, when was the last time you limited yourself from trying to do something that you want to do? Like you always say, I want to go to the gym, for example, and then you just make up like some sort of excuse, and deep down, bro, that's an excuse. Deep down, it's an excuse, and you make it, and then you don't end up going to the gym, and then you don't get the results that you clearly want. And okay, let me give an example, right? So I think 2-3 weeks ago, I was at the gym with my friends, and after we finished our workout, after we finished everything, and one of my friends, he's like a skinnier sort of person, and he wants to, I guess, get more muscular. I think he wants to get muscular, right? He wants to be stronger, whatever, right? So he's just like, I just want to get strong. I just want to bulk up, and I just want to be, muscular. And I was just telling him, bro, if you don't eat, then you're not going to get muscular. If you don't bulk up and actually eat food, you're just going to be running around in circles and not actually gain muscle. Like in the last, for me, the last 3-4 months, I've been bulking and I gained a good 6-7 kg. So for me, it's a lot easier to bulk. I'll give him that. And then, the first thing this guy replies after I say, just eat, he's just like, bro, but I have fast metabolism. I'm like, okay, akhi, we've gone through this so many times. He's just like, but I have fast metabolism. And whenever I eat, it's too quick. I don't gain anything. I can eat anything I want. I'm just like, okay, here we go again. You know that meme from GTA San Andreas? Here we go again, right? So this guy just like, oh, I'm too fast metabolism. So I'm just like, okay. And so what you have to do if you have fast metabolism is you have to eat more calorie dense foods. And don't worry, I'm not gonna get too scientific on you, but you have to pretty much eat calorie dense foods. Foods that have more calories. You know what I mean? And that doesn't mean junk food, okay? For those that are wondering. But you just have to make up for your metabolism and eat more, even if it hurts sometimes. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice something, to get something. And then the first thing this guy replies back and tells me is that, but the Prophet ﷺ, he only ate 1/3 food and 1/3. I drank 1/3 water and 1/3 air. And I'm just like, okay, you know what? You don't even talk to me at this point. It's okay. You can stay the way you are. But just don't complain then. That's the issue. You don't want to put the work in, but you also complain why you're not getting it. It's like you're complaining why you don't have an A+ on your math test, but then you didn't study for that math test, and you're complaining why you didn't get an A+. I just told him, you know what? Okay, let's stop talking about it. You can just live your life. If you don't want to do the work, don't do it. That's fine. Akhi, we're good. Let's go. Let's go outside. And that just reminded me that this is one of the biggest things that's destroying the ummah, in my opinion. Not destroying the ummah, okay? But it's really putting a negative effect on the ummah, which is limiting beliefs. And I'm not dismissing the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, but I'm also trying to tell you that you still need to, if you are in a different situation. For example, I'll give you an example. The sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is 1/3 water, 1/3 food, per meal, I guess. You know what I mean? And we all, of course, try to live by that. That's fine. But you can eat 1/3 food, but have more calorie dense foods. Or you can eat 1/3 food, but eat food more often. You know what I'm saying? Eat in a more often basis so you can make up. So you can make it up, bro. It just, at this point, you understood the subject of this video, which is excuses. Limiting beliefs, excuses, whatnot. Limiting beliefs. I feel like limiting beliefs is so much worse than we think. And I feel like this is one of the biggest reasons why most of us don't take action on our goals. Limiting beliefs. And I don't understand limiting beliefs, because why would you self-limit yourself? How does that help you in any way, shape, or form? So if you're someone struggling with limiting beliefs, I want to just say a few, tips I want to share in order for you to take action on your goals. Number one, the moment you limit yourself, you're limiting yourself, you are a direct enemy to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like the moment you limit yourself and you say something that is like restraining you from doing something, you are limiting yourself from being the best version of yourself. Why are you doing that? Like, why would you, if you clearly want to be the best version of yourself, why would you then limit yourself for that? Let's say you're struggling with a bad habit, or let's say you're struggling with a sin, and the more you do this sin, the more sort of self-hatred you have for yourself. You know what I mean? Like a big one is prawn, and a lot of the brothers, especially the brothers, I don't know, the sisters really don't talk about of course we shouldn't be talking about our sins, but I don't know if prawn is affecting the sisters side. I hope not, of course, but the brothers, it's a big fitna. It's one of the biggest fitnas ever. Prawn is destroying the brothers, absolutely destroying them, destroying their testosterone, destroying their energy, destroying it's making them more lazy. But what it's also doing is destroying their mental health. And so they don't like themselves. They think they're loser. Like they think, they're weak. They think they're incapable of destroying this bad habit. And in the many other of the likes, I've gotten messages about this. And it's sad to see, but it's also like you are calling yourself weak. You're telling yourself every single day that I can never beat this, I can never do this. And although it sounds so corny, you have to realize it from a scientific point of view that the moment you say, I cannot do this multiple times, and you keep telling that to yourself, you keep telling that, like your brain keeps hearing that, your subconscious brain is going to literally think that's normal. And it's not going to put its effort to actually changing so. And this is scientifically proven. I forgot the name of this experiment. There are many scientific experiments, you can check yourself, where doctors, right, they put experiments of, for example, positive affirmations. And this is why I don't fully hate on positive affirmations, because it's been scientifically proven. Now, if it's up to you to do it, that's your choice. Positive affirmations has worked. Like scientifically, it has shown changes in people's psyche. Like if you keep telling yourself repeated behaviors and repeated things, you will start to act out on that because it becomes a part of who you are now. So if you keep calling yourself a loser, you will think of yourself as a loser. And then you're going to have things like you're going to walk with your head down every time you're walking. You're going to walk with your head down, but not in a humble way. Like the ulama, the scholars of Islam, a lot of them did walk with their head down, but that was because they're humble. Yes, but they're ulama, they're scholars of Islam. They have the highest status in humanity, of course, after the Sahaba and the Prophet ﷺ and the Anbiya, other prophets, stuff like that. But the scholars have a very high status. And yet, they're walking with their head down out of humbleness, out of humility. That's different to, that you're walking with your head down because you are you think you're a loser and you walk with your head down. And the reason why you do that is because you keep calling yourself a loser. And so that automatically comes to you. And then you look at depression and you look at the symptoms of depression, and then you realize that a lot of depression is just, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, I'm not good enough for this. You're not good enough, and you tell yourself you're not good enough. You tell yourself you're not worth it. You tell yourself that you're an underachiever. You can't achieve anything in life. And then we get to the next part, which is, so the actions will lead to a result, and the result will lead to an identity. And that identity is pretty much how you view yourself. Qadr of Allah, of course. So, for example, you are someone who procrastinates a lot. You are someone who does not study, does not prepare for your exams, and then you just kind of just play video games, or you scroll, or you just can't sit down and do work, and you can't focus, and there's this barrier that's always there when you try to work. Your mind just can't get into the work. I understand. But then the exam day comes, you do the exam, and then you get the mark back, and you're just like, okay, this is not a good mark. I'm not getting a good mark on this. That, if you do that enough times now, you're going to look at yourself as a bad student, or as an underachiever student. Oh, I'm like a C student, or I'm a D student, or I'm a B student. Not even B, because B is like not bad, it's decent. Like I'm a C or D, or I'm a failure. I'm a failure student. I always fail on exams. I'm a bad student. I'm not smart. And then that goes to, I'm not smart. I'm not intelligent. And then that goes to, okay, maybe I'm not going to get a good job. I'm not going to get a degree. And it just stems on. And the more you tell yourself, I'm not smart, I'm not this, I'm lazy, I procrastinate. The more you tell yourself this stuff, you're going to procrastinate more. You're going to do bad on school tests more. Do you know what I'm saying now? The more you do that stuff, you're going to procrastinate more. You're going to not try for school more, because there's no point, right? You're already a bad student. You're already someone who's not going to get good marks. So why would I try now? That is this dangerous cycle that happens. And this comes from a lot of our childhood. If we think we are weak individuals, you know what I'm saying? If we think we're weak from childhood, maybe we didn't push ourselves physically. You know, maybe we always were like the protected ones. You know, like a lot of our parents, especially like my mother as well. She always, alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful, but she always like protected me. I was kind of like, she didn't like sometimes I would actually like be able to go and push myself as a little kid and get hurt, but a lot of times I was more protected. You know, I was very alhamdulillah, again alhamdulillah, I'm not complaining, but there are consequences to a lot of things, especially if you're like if you're akhi, if you're a brother. You want to let your son, inshallah your future son, you want to let him get hurt a little bit. You want to let him experience a little bit of pain, because he will overcome that. And then you'll try again and try again. But when you're always protected, you're scared to take that first step. And then when you do take the first step, you get a bad result because you haven't experienced those failures from before, right? So whenever you get a bad result, you just think, oh, I'm just bad. I'm just bad. But imagine if you are like a very young kid. Imagine you're 3-4 years old right now, right? At the age of 4, you do your first math test. I'm just giving an example. And you get a bad mark. As the years go on, since you're only 4, you don't really understand. You don't really care too much. But the more you do it, the more better you get at math. The more better you get at math, the more you think of yourself as someone, I'm a good student. I'm a good math student, because you had the practice from before. You had the failures from before. But if you're someone who's never studied and then you're 18 years old and you do your first math test, I can't even speak. You do your first math test and you're 18 and first ever, like you never studied math and you get a bad mark. Now you just think, oh, I'm just bad at math. But how do you know it's your first time doing it? But that's what happens. You know how many people I come across, they're just like, oh, I just can't do the gym. I'm not strong. I'm like, well, duh. That's why you're at the gym. That's why you're here, to get strong. It's just these limiting beliefs people have. Oh, I can't go to the gym because I'm weak. That's why you should be at the gym. That's the main reason why you should be going to the gym, to get strong. But it's like the opposite now. That's the limiting self-beliefs. So like all goes to show the two things I talked about, which is don't self-limit yourself, because that stops you from taking action and you're only hurting yourself. And the reason why you self-limit yourself is because of the actions you've already been doing. And since you've been doing it for so long, you just automatically think that's who you are. So if you're someone who procrastinates, you're going to look at yourself as a lazy procrastinator. You know how many people that write in the comments, I'm just so lazy. I'm just like, yeah, you are, bro. You calling yourself lazy? I mean, that's all you're going to be. Oh, I just can't do my work. Yeah, I know. That's why you're not doing any work, because you always tell yourself that. So you think you're incapable of doing so. Wallahi, you don't know how important thoughts are. I think there's many ulama, scholars of Islam, that talked about this. I just have to do some research. Anyways, it's Maghrib time for me. I gotta go. Hopefully this helped you. More videos, expect more videos like this, because wallahi, I feels like I'm talking to like a friend, right? Anyways, I love you. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.